Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? Out here enjoying this. It's a nice breeze today. Um, Last couple of days it was in its 90s up here in Michigan. Not today, it's in its 80s. Lot better because we got a nice little breeze. Uh, I'm gonna hurry up and do this video because we supposed to get a thunderstorm. So I'm gonna hurry up and do this video while I can do it. But if you guys listen real closely, you can hear my wind chimes. I'm sitting on my porch. I love wind chimes. I love the way they sound when the wind blows. It seems like it's a calming sound. It calms me down every time I hear it. But if you listen closely, you will be able to hear my wind chimes throughout the video because it's windy out, kind of windy out here. Anyway, excuse me if my video is a little dark, but it's kind of getting sunny, then it's getting cloudy and whatever. Well, anyway, I want to talk about if you guys have heard in the news, they're talking about Roseanne Barr, how she because everybody know that her show made a comeback. The Roseanne show came back on. They did basically what they call a reboot. Actually, to be honest, I was actually kind of getting into the show. It was actually a pretty good reboot and it's a pretty good show. I've been kind of getting into it. And they, as if you guys have been checking the news over the past couple of days, she made a statement. She tweeted a statement talking about one of Obama's aides saying that something about Planet of the Apes or something. First of all, anytime you use a word, either the word monkey or ape in reference to black people, that's racist. That's going to be automatic, straight up racist if you use either ape or monkey in reference to a black person, African American. You're gonna be deemed as straight up racist if you're a white person. It's just no getting around it. So she made a. I mean, I don't know if she meant it that way or not, but she made the fatal mistake of saying, referring to one of Obama's aides, because she's a Trump supporter. But just because you're a Trump supporter doesn't mean you have to talk about people. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But we all know how those people think. I'm not getting into all that politics, but anyway, she said something about ape, Planet of the Apes uh, versus something. I don't know. It had the word Planet of the Apes in it in reference to his aide, which is an African American woman. Well, the president of ABC instantly canceled the show. She instantly canceled the show when she found that out. Um, and that's what I want to talk about. I got the marinating on that. I want to talk about. I got the marinating. Actually, I was marinating, thinking about that in my sleep. Now you know I'm getting serious when I start thinking about video topics in my sleep. I was thinking about that when I was sleeping. The power of words, the power of the tongue. The Bible talks about the tongue and how powerful the tongue is, and how we have to be careful about what we say. And the Bible speaks about that. And I was marinating on that, meditating on the fact that how powerful words are. And the thing, what I'm glad about this is that I'm just glad. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just really happy that white people are being held accountable for making racial statements about black people. Because at once upon a time, it used to be back in the day, white people could throw the N word around and all them kind of things and say all kind of stuff about us with no repercussion. I mean, they used to be able to throw it around like it was nothing, and they used to be able to say it without any repercussions. I remember when I was in college, I read the book Huckleberry Finn. If you guys ever read that book, Huckleberry Finn, I had to read it for a class because I had to do a paper on it. And that word was probably used over 100 times in that book. The N word. And when you think about the time period that the book was written in, or written about, that's just what they called black people back then. And they was throwing that word around like it was nothing because that's basically what they called black people back then. But this is not the 1800s, and we have first of all, we have a name. Our race does not define us. I don't know about you guys, but my race does not define me. I have a name. I worked with a lady on my when I worked at the assisted living, and they were talking about some a black guy that worked there, and somebody said, I don't know, they were talking about, they said that they didn't use the correct term in describing him. It was something like that. And she was like, well, what do you people want to be called? And I was, first of all, I was like, you people? What do you mean, you people? And then I said, call me June. Call me June. And so I don't want to be called African American. I'm a woman that happens to be black. My race does not define me. I am not defined by my race. I am a woman that happens to be black. I'm a human being and I'm a woman first before I'm black. My black is just my race and my pigment. It's not who I am as a person. It doesn't define me. I don't know about you guys or how you guys feel about that, but my race does not define us. I think as a whole, our race does not define us because at the end of the day, we're human beings and we have names. And there's no reason to walk around and calling us names. And I know they wouldn't be happy if we said those things about them. And I know what broke me from saying the N word. This is what broke me from saying the N word because I was like a lot of black people. I used to go around saying that word, but this when I thought about it and I really marinated on it one day, and I was like, you know what? I never called white people any derogatory names. I would just say white people. I would never say. Some of you guys know what some of the words terms is used for white people. Um, I've never used those terms in reference to white people. I always would just say white people, but then I would say the N word, referring to black people, and I marinated on that, and I thought about the history behind that word and everything, and how a lot of our people have lost their lives and still losing their lives behind that word, and that's what broke me. And as a Christian, I shouldn't be talking that way anyway, and we shouldn't talk that way. And so that's what kind of broke me from using that word. And so now I try not to even use that word, and I don't. My sons use it. I correct them. I said, stop saying that word, because we shouldn't call each other that. And so, because a lot of white people use that as justification, they say, well, you guys said, oh, another thing that broke me from using that word was when I was working at a county nursing home, and I was working with this older lady that was a racist. She tried to act like she wasn't a racist, but she was one of them type people. And I was using the N word. Believe it or not, you should never use the N word around white people ever. I don't care. It doesn't matter if it's ER or the NA behind it. It doesn't matter. You should never ever use that word around white people. And this is another thing that broke me is one day she used that word in reference to somebody else that worked on the job. She didn't work in our department, but she was someone that worked in another department, and she used that word in reference to this other person because she was angry with the person. And she said the word, like that. And I said, what did she say? And at the time, we was in the dish room, and it was all loud in there and everything. And I was like, I know she didn't say what I thought she said. And she did. She said she called the woman. And I instantly got mad. But I thought about it. I said, June, you can't get mad when you using the word around her. That gives her justification to use the word. So that was another thing that broke me from using that word, because when you say it around white people, I don't care how cool you think you is with the white person, that's going to give them justification to use that word. They're going to feel justified. You don't want to give them any kind of justification to use that word. Nobody should be using that word. White people shouldn't be using it. Black people should not be using it. I don't care if it has the A on the end, because they don't understand all that. All they saying is, well, black people say it. They call each other that, and so that's justification for a lot of people, white people, to say that word. So we have, as black people, we have to lead by example and not use that word. And so they don't hear us talking that way. But see, our people talk that way in the music. It's in the music. My son, as I said a few videos back, I did a video about my son trying to be a rapper. My youngest son is trying to be a rapper, and he throws that word around like it ain't nothing. I keep trying to talk to him and encourage him to clean up his lyrics, because it's just I just can't stand it. His lyrics, he's using the N word, calling women hoes and bees, and I'm like, Edmund, I didn't raise you like that. He was raised in the truth. He was raised as a witness. I mean, he's not a witness, but I've been studying ever since he was 5 years old. So he had been coming to, for the exception of the last 2 years, last couple of years ago, he stopped coming to the hall. But up all the way up until he was about 15, 14, 15 years old, he's been coming to the hall. And so he knows that. I mean, he knows, well, he may not know, but you know what I mean. So he was raised in a Christian household for the most part. My oldest son, not so Christian, because he was 15. My youngest son was um, 5 years old when I first started studying. But my youngest son was raised predominantly in a Christian household, because ever since then I've been, associated with the witnesses. So he's been pretty much raised in a Christian household for the most part. So I mean, to hear him use those words in his music is just, it's just highly disappointing and highly appalling. Because I'm like, Edmund, he was not raised that way. He was not raised to be using. I said, I've never raised you to talk to women that way. I didn't raise you to use the B word and call it. He's doing what everybody else is doing. Well, anyway, I'm getting off subject. I might talk about that in another video. I've pretty much already done a video addressing that. But the thing is words. My point is that words are very powerful. Words hold a lot of power. And the thing that kind of messes me up about Rosanne is that she ruined not just her opportunity, but she ruined everybody's opportunity on that show. Everybody, she wasn't the only one on that show. Other people that's on that show, she ruined their opportunity too, all the way down to the little black girl that's on the show. That was her little opportunity to shine. She ruined her opportunity. She ruined everybody's opportunity on that show because she got on there and chose to say those words. They canceled the show, and the show was doing real good. They had so many millions of viewers in the first couple episodes, and they renewed it for another season. So the show was doing great, and so they were just going to do it for a short period of time because they didn't know how it was going to go. But the show's been doing great, and here she comes, says this word, she ruins it for everybody. Now I know that everybody on that show is upset with her. I know they're not happy with her because she had no business using that word. And that's the thing, it's a privilege. It's a privilege. I mean, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little something. I used to wanted to be an actress when I was younger. I mean, I did some plays in high school and stuff, and that was my dream. I mean, it kind of still is my passion. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be kind of frank. It kind of still is my passion. It's kind of something that I still wouldn't mind doing. But when I was younger, that was what I was going to do. I mean, my 12th grade year, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was going to go off to New York or whatever and start my acting career. Well, I didn't do that, but I was going to do that. And I could. My thing is that that's such a hard business to get into. The entertainment business is such a hard business to get into, and if you get it, and you happen to be blessed enough to get into this business and be successful in the entertainment industry, because it's highly competitive and it's very difficult to be successful in the entertainment industry. And if you're blessed enough to be in that position and to get those opportunities, you don't want to ruin it for nothing. You don't want to mess it up. It's so difficult. And she has been blessed to be able to be in this industry for a long time. And it's a very difficult industry. And she was blessed to be able to be in that industry a long time and everything. And so she ruined her opportunity. And now and image is very important too in the entertainment industry. Now she done messed up her image, and she done ruined her job opportunity. She ruined all her castmates on that show's opportunity because she used that word. So that's the power. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just glad that they're holding white people accountable now. I'm glad that they're being held accountable There's people that have came on Facebook that worked for various different companies and used that word, and they've gotten fired. And I'm just glad that they're being held accountable now, because white people shouldn't be using that word, but black people need to lead by example and stop using. We need to stop using that word amongst each other. I don't care what you say to justify it. You know, rappers and everything, they try to justify it. I don't care what you say to justify it. Black people need to stop using that word, plain and simple. And I did a video actually talking about that, but Roseanne, she ruined everybody's career that she was working with on that show, and that's the power. That's how powerful words are. We have to really be careful what we let come out of our mouths. It's just like some of the people here on YouTube. Prime example. It's like, they come on here and they bash people. They bash black women. Uh, uh, some black women bash black men. Some people bash white people. But then them people's channels are constantly being shut down because it's considered hate speech. So if you're a YouTuber and you coming on here, bashing people and talking, cussing and hearing that and going on and all like that, you ruining your opportunity. There's good opportunities on YouTube. But if you come on here bashing people and hate speech and all that, well, they consider it hate speech and cussing and going on, they're gonna drop you. And if they drop you, well, you can't make no coin. You can't make no money. So that's the thing. It's like that is how powerful words are. Words hold a lot of power. And we got to be careful what we let come out of our mouths. There's things that have been said to me that it took me a long time to get over it. I eventually got over it, but it took me a long time to get over it. People have said things to me that it took me a long time to get over it. Long time. And so sometimes if you say something, particularly if it's to a family member or someone close to you, if you say harsh words in the process of being angry, that person may never recover from it. If a person is contemplating suicide and you say the wrong things to them, or you need to snap out of it or whatever, or a person is dealing with severe depression and you say the wrong words to them, that person might go ahead and wind up taking their life because you used the wrong words. You need to snap out of it. You need to get over it. This and that and the other. That person might mess around and commit suicide. That's how powerful words are. Words are so powerful. There's life and death in the tongue. There's life and death in the tongue. And you can give somebody life. Just like when we're raising our children, I know as I was raising my boys, I always try to say positive things to them. I used to tell my boys when they were little, I used to say, "You're a good man. You're a good man." I told both of my sons when they were little boys, when they were really little, I used to tell them, "You such a good man." I used to tell them that all the time. I used to tell them that they were a good man when they were little. And now both of my sons are good men. They're good young men. Because it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Us as mothers, single mothers raising sons, if you sitting up there, and you're just like your daddy, and there's black women, unfortunately, that do that. You just like your daddy. You ain't no good, just like your daddy, and this and that and the other. You're going to be just like your daddy. And sure enough, they grow up to be just like the father or worse. And sometimes they wind up in prison, or sometimes they wind up in dead. So that's the power. That's the power in the tongue. It's like even with your children, you can speak life on them, or you can speak death on them just with your words. That's how powerful our tongue is, and that's how powerful words are. Even same with girls. If you calling her, you ain't nothing but a little hoe or whatever. I can't imagine a mother saying that to a little girl, but some mothers probably do. And then she grows up, she might be just that. That's what I'm saying. It's this it's excuse me for saying that word whole, but I'm just trying to make a point here. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's the words. The tongue is so powerful, and the thing is, it's like that situation with Paula Dean, and I hate to. I know it's all said and done, but I hate to keep bringing it up. But I'm just trying to make a point. The situation, if you guys remember, was Paula Dean. She used the N word, but it was years ago. she had said it years ago, and then she was on trial in court, and they asked her has she ever said it, and she said yeah, just being honest and everything. And so she got a lot. If you guys can remember back to that, she got in a lot of trouble behind that. She lost some endorsements, and she said that word 20 years before. Said it 20 years ago. She got in trouble for something she said 20 years ago. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, um, it, it, we just got to be careful, and not just white people. That's everybody. I'm talking about everybody. Black people, white people. We got to be careful what we let come out of our mouths. You can't. There was this one guy I was looking at this video, and somebody had it circulating on Facebook. He was a white guy. He called some black guys the N word, and the black guys start stealing on him. I guess he didn't think they was gonna do anything to him. They started stealing on him, and after that, he was pleading with them. And so, you just can't just go around saying that word to black people and think that they're just gonna take it. You you know, um, this one guy has said it. I was taking my mom and my aunt somewhere, and he was standing on the corner. I guess he was some black people. He had no shoes on. I guess maybe some black people stole his shoes. He's like, those niggas. I said, ooh. I said, he better be, um, he better not say that to the wrong black person. Because he said it to the wrong black person, he done. He's all done. So that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful using that word, white people. You got to be careful. You can't just be going around saying that word to black people and think that they're going to take it. Because some black people will retaliate. And so that's what I'm saying. It's so powerful. She not only ruined her opportunity, but she ruined everybody's opportunity on that show. That is so not cool. Now she's gonna until it's gonna die down. Something else is gonna major's gonna happen, and nobody's gonna think about it anymore. We all know everything has a season. So, but right now she's under fire because she used that word, and so shame on her, given such a wonderful opportunity to have the longevity that she's had in show business. And here she says a word like that, and then she's not only making a bad name for herself, but she ruined her opportunity. She hadn't done nothing in a while before that reboot. Now she didn't messed up her coins and messed up everybody's coins on the show. And I know they got to be mad. I wouldn't blame them. So that word to the wise people, we got to watch our tongue. It's like sometimes people come on my channel. As positive as I try to be on here, people come on here and bash me. As positive as I try to be on my channel, some people come on here. A lot of times it's black men. 9 times out of 10 it's black men. Um, they come on here. They don't agree with what I said, or they don't like black women, and they come on here and call me all kind of names and stuff. And I just block them. I block them. You know. And so it's I don't let it bother me because I don't know them, but it's just Um, so I mean, in a sense, I don't blame YouTube for dropping people's channels because you can't come on here. You can't come on here um, bashing people and cussing and going on, and they're not gonna have it. But my issue with YouTube was that they need to do it with everybody across the board, not just pick certain people. Don't just do it with certain people. Do it with everybody across the board that's on here that's inappropriate. And so, if you, like I said, you keep doing that on YouTube, I think Tommy Sotomayor, I think got shut down for once and for all on here. Because I think he's doing videos on his website now because he's bashing too much. He's probably got have too many people reporting him because he's bad mouthing black women too much and stuff. You know. And so that's what I'm saying. He messing up his coins and he messing up now. He's taking donations from people. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. So there's power. It's life and death in the tongue, and our words can be so powerful. We can help, or we can hurt, or we can heal or help with our words. And so I'm not just talking about you guys, I'm talking about me too. That goes for me. That goes for everybody else. We got to be careful what we let come out of our mouths. Even on Facebook, you can't say certain things on Facebook. If your employer, if your employer reads certain things that you put on Facebook, they can fire you. Especially if it's pertaining to the company, they can fire you because they feel like you're bashing their company. Why would they want you working for them if you're bashing their company? You're publicly that's slander. They can actually technically sue you for it. So, boy, I'm telling you, words are powerful. So I don't know. I just wanted to. I was marinating on that last night, and let me know, guys, what you think in the comment section about this Roseanne situation and the power of our words. Um, I got some more interesting video topics coming up. This is Sweet Jam.